If you're watching after the live, we're just going to wait a few minutes until someone hops on. Um, I'm going to try out the different camera angle. Let me know what you guys like better. Do you like the vertical or the horizontal version? But yeah, we're going to wait a few minutes. It's a little early. I'm going to start doing lives uh, before the lifts in the morning. Oh, looks like we got someone. Thanks for watching. So let's start talking about it. So there's a 2-day event going on in Connecticut. It's going to be, the first day will be super matches. It will start at noon. If you plan on watching in person, you're going to have to buy tickets. The tickets are going to be, it's going to be given to the charity for Turtle Man. Hey, what's up, Brian? Yep, arm wrestling rules. Um, hey, that's pretty close to Connecticut. You think you're gonna make it down to the tournament September 6th, the Turtle Man 2, the second annual Turtle Man Classic, and CT States. But yeah, man, if you can make it down, it'd be great to see you. Bring some of your teammates. Like I said before, this is a charity event, so 100% of the money we get from the tournament will be given directly to Danny's daughter. We put it into, well, we don't put it, we give them the money and they put it into a college fund. But yeah, it's going to be a great weekend of arm wrestling. Um, the super matches, let's go back to the super matches. There's going to be 9 matches. My original plan was to do 5, but things got a little carried away, so we're going to do 9, which I don't think is the biggest problem. I think if it is a problem, it's a good problem. Um, because these 9 matches are, personally, I'm very excited for. I'm going to be able to see all these matches in person, so I feel pretty lucky to be able to see these matches. But let's start. Let's start. Let's talk about some matches. So it's going to be a pay-per-view event. If you watch it in person, um, the order of matches are going to be a little different. Well, if you're 155, you're gonna have to drop 1 pound or pull the 176 because we have 140 154 pound class, and if I'm not mistaken, the next class up is the one. Don't quote me. I always mix up the weight classes, especially being a super heavyweight. I always mix up the lower weight classes. I want to say it's definitely 154. The next class up, I want to say is 176. But don't quote me. I got to double check. All my notes are in the phone. I can't check right now. But yeah, Brian, it'd definitely be great to have you there. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. What is what's stopping you from taking the trip down to Connecticut to pull a Turtle Man? You have like an injury or something? You have an injury going on? But let's go back to the matches again. It's going to be a pay-per-view event. It's going to be played on this channel. The matches will be, the only match that won't be played in order will be my match with the 1 versus 3. So if you're watching in person, that match will be first. Um, but if you're watching on the pay-per-view, it's going to be one of the last ones. The reason why there's a couple of reasons. I'm going to go first. We have some new rules going on. If there's any problems or any issues that I didn't see on paper with these new rules, we'll be able to adjust so they don't have the same problems with the athletes. But also, um, I would like to personally, I would like to focus on one thing at a time. Um, if that makes sense, like after the match is done, I'll be able to go back into being the promoter, make sure the event's running good. Um, but the athletes in the 1 versus 3 is Damian, John, and Andrew. These guys are in their areas. They're very, very good. Um, I would definitely say Damian and John. I would say Damian is probably definitely the number 2 super in Massachusetts, in my opinion, only behind Jerry Caderet. John's a little newer, but I still would say he is tied with. He might be maybe fourth, but he might be tied for third with Chris Burns from Mass. Chris Burns is a good puller. He was actually one of the athletes I asked to pull in the 1 versus 3, but unfortunately he's a teacher, so he's got school. But that being said, the third member is a gentleman from Pennsylvania. Macho Man is his nickname. When you guys watch the event, you'll understand why we call him Macho Man. But he's from Pennsylvania. He would probably. I'm not super familiar with Pennsylvania in terms of like the athletes, but I would definitely say Andrew is in the top 10 for his weight class in Pennsylvania, in my opinion. So I got a big big order. Three strong dudes. They all have their own strengths. So it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. I'm excited for this match. I've been training very hard. Um, so let's move on to the next match. So if you're watching the pay-per-view, the first match will be available Sunday night. The first match that we are going to put on the pay-per-view, which will also be the second match to be on the card in person, but it will be the first match we play on the pay-per-view. It will be the ladies match. The ladies will be opening up the pay-per-view. And who are the ladies, you ask? There are 2 very strong athletes. One is a little bit more of a veteran, and one's a little bit more of a young up-and-comer. The first athlete on the card is from, I want to say she is from Vermont. I always mix them up, maybe New Hampshire, but I want to say Vermont. And her name is Kyla Passmore. Nope, I mixed that up. Her first name is Kyla, but she's pulling Candy Passmore. Her last name is Kyla Ward. She will be pulling Candy Passmore. Best of 5. They're meeting at 140 pounds. Kyla is going down in weight. Candy is going up in weight. So it should be interesting. One will have a little bit, depending on how heavy Candy gets, because I think she's like 130 or something like that. So depending on how heavy she gets, there might be a little weight advantage if she doesn't, make it all the way up to 140. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Candy will have a pretty decent height advantage. They both have similar styles, but at the same time, different styles. One is definitely going more for position. I would say, and one has might be relying more on just power, because it hasn't not worked for her in the past. I've seen her compete. I've seen Kyler compete um, in person at the first Turtle Man Classic. I want to say she was there was only one ladies class, but she was the smallest lady, and I think I don't even think she got slowed down in that class, from what I remember. Maybe I'm wrong, but Candy she's very experienced. She's very smart. I'm very excited for this match. I think it's going to be a great card to open up, a great match to open up the card. What else is there? Next match. Now, I'm not sure, 100% sure on the order of the pay-per-view, except for the first match, which will be the ladies. So these matches that we'll talk about next are going to be in no order, just whatever comes to my mind. So let's start with the High Chief and Black Ice. Now, these guys have history. They've pulled many times in the past. And when Black Ice first started, one of the teams he first trained with was the original Dungeon back in the day, before the Dungeon was what Dungeon is now. So what I mean by that, it wasn't a different building. There was no two-story barn. It was it was before me, so I was still powerlifting at the time, so I had no idea arm wrestling was a real sport. But from the stories I hear, if you were over 5'8", you were not able to walk standing up. You had to crouch because the ceiling to the basement was so low. But that being said, I know they faced before in the past, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Chief has always ended up on top. He's always been the victor. But it could be it could be the changing of the tides. Black Ice said it himself. He wants to be the new chief. He wants the chief. But will the High Chief? I don't think the High Chief is gonna just hand over his title. I'm very excited about this match. These athletes are pulling left and right. Best of 5. Let's see, what else do we have? Next match that comes to mind is another personal favorite of mine. There's a couple reasons why it's a personal favorite of mine. 2 reasons, and both athletes bring in their own reason. The first reason is Ron, the Assassin Armini. He trains in Connecticut. He has a team, the Connecticut Armbenders. That was my first ever arm wrestling practice. That was the team I trained with for the first, year or something like that. Before I started going over to the Dungeon. But that's where my arm wrestling career started, is with Ron Armini, the Assassin, and those guys. He will be pulling Bill Sinks. Bill Sinks is a legend of the sport. Unless you're brand new into the sport, there's a lot of new people, so I could get it. But unless you're brand new, you should know who Bill Sinks is. He's been pretty much everywhere. But, I'm very excited. I think this match is going to be very, very entertaining. Um, I know, I do. I guess I could see why. A lot of people now. I shouldn't say the majority, but I've been hearing it quite a bit. A lot of people think this may be a mismatch. They think it's going to go one-sided. I I think it's going to be a battle to the end. I think it's as the promoter, I'm trying to stay neutral. You know, but I do think this is going to be a 3-2 at the end. A lot of people haven't. A lot of people have met Ron Armini, but they haven't met the assassin. So what I mean by that is they've only seen like the happy-go-lucky version of Ron, at tournaments and stuff like that. They've never seen Ron ready to go, fired up, trained. I've only seen Ron one time as the assassin, and that was 2020 at the IFA Worlds, where he won 2 golds. So that being said, I think we're going to see that version of Ron again. I know he's been training. He's been training more than I've ever seen him train, at least recently. He's been coming to practice. He's been hitting the weights. So it should be good. It should be very, very exciting. That's what I should say. It's gonna be more. It's gonna be better than good. So the next match on the card will be one of these athletes is a replacement athlete. The replacement athlete is for Brandon. Brandon was not able to make it for some reason. Anyways, I'm very appreciative to Tim for stepping up. Tim is taking Brandon's place. And he is pulling James Roden Mason. It's going to be a right arm match, best of 5. Now, this battle is interesting. One athlete is kind of newer into the sport. He's probably had about 150 super matches. He has Tim probably has he probably has a super match every 3 or 4 days. He has a super match. Um, but James he's improving very fast. He's hungry. He definitely wants it. I see this as the kind of like a battle of a bullet versus a bulletproof vest kind of thing. One is using speed. One strategy is most likely based around speed, and the other strategy will be most likely based around stopping power. So what I mean by that is one guy wants the match to be, it doesn't want it to be static. It wants to be, preferably probably want to finish him in the hit versus as the other guy, he wants the match to stop. He probably doesn't care where it stops. He just wants it to stop because he knows once it stops, he's only going to get, stickier and harder to deal with. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Yeah, it should be fun. It should be a fun time. Oh, whoops. For some reason, I missed a lot of your chat, Brian. Easy peasy. Oh yeah, I missed like 5. For some reason it didn't go up. Well, hopefully that coin flip leads you to Turtle Man. Yeah, man, Turtle Man, the super matches is going to be an absolute. It's going to be a mega weekend. Plus it's for a great cause. So make sure you bring your friends, bring the family. Um, maybe even you know, eh, bring everybody. It's going to be a great time. But let's see. Um, so far, of the matches that I've talked about, which one's your favorite? Which one's your favorite one so far? Next match on the card will be two athletes meeting at 165 pounds. First athlete will be Sam Mitchell. His opponent will be Brian Malek. Now, these guys have pulled before. Brian has been taking a little bit of a break, but he's gotten back into it for this match. When I first talked to him, it was at least, I want to say it was like at least 3 months. It might have been 4 months, but definitely at least 3 months. So there was a good amount of time to train. So I'm expecting Brian to be showing up in great shape. Um, yeah, so it should be good. Sam is also, he's been very active recently. I just saw him a couple weeks ago or a month ago at Mass States. Um, and he was looking very good. I think this could be one of those matches that is grinder, which would be great for the fans and everyone watching at home. One's definitely a hooker, and one is more of a top roll, maybe even a high hook kind of thing. You know, so we'll see. We'll see September 5th at noon. That's when the super matches are going to be. So remember, if you guys want to watch the pay per view. Watch the event live in person. You have to get tickets. Shoot me a message if you guys want to get tickets. Shoot me up on Facebook, Nicholas Stone, or Instagram. Instagram is underscore Team Stone 777. Let's go on to another match. The next match will be Paul Passmore has two matches, two different athletes on separate arms. The first athlete he will pull is James Clark. He will be pulling him righty. Now this match is, in my opinion, the classic battle style of a hooker versus top roller. You know, I'm pretty excited about this match. Personally, I'm very curious how this is going to go. I've pulled with James quite a bit. Once in a while I'll see him up at Mass with Fitzy and the guys. But I've only pulled with Paul one time. It was just to warm up real quick. But recently I've seen him get some good wins, very good wins. He's looking in great shape. His arms are looking very big. And these guys will be meeting at a weight of 242 pounds. Now, the left arm, Paul will be pulling Justin Baird, lefty. All these matches, except for the 1 versus 3, will be a best of 5. Justin has been he's been venturing in with boxing. I can't remember the name of it, but for some reason I feel like it's the Rough and Rowdy boxing thing. He's been doing pretty well over there, but he decided to take another step back in arm wrestling. I know Paul and Justin have been talking about a match for a while, and it just so happens that we're able to put it on at September 5th in the Dungeon Super Match Series at noon. That's when it's going to happen. I feel like I'm forgetting a match. I don't think I forgot a match. So I think that was 9. I always, no matter what, I always forget a match, but I don't think I forgot one this time. Um, if you watch my other lives, there's always one I forget, and about 30 minutes later, it pops in my head, and I can't believe I forgot that match. But also, too, if you guys want to, if you want a chance to pull with some of the athletes on this card, some of the top athletes in the country, your first opportunity will be the after pool party after the super matches. Now, people will only be allowed there if they bought tickets to the event, so keep that in mind. And you'll be able to pull anybody, pretty much anybody. You'll be able to pull me, Paul, anybody that's still healthy after the matches. Hopefully, there's no injuries, but it's always a risk. And also too, there's going to be a dungeon tour. It's not going to be super long. It's kind of like a little arm wrestling museum. Bunch of arm wrestling stuff through the decades. I want to say as far back as 80s, maybe 70s, but definitely 80s. It should be very good. It should be fun. Chief is going to do a little tour. He'll talk about the dungeon and all the history and stuff. That's no extra price. That's just going to be when we finish. We don't have exact start time when it's going to start. It's just going to be when we finish the last match. That's when we'll start the dungeon tour and the after party. I'm not sure how many athletes are staying from the super matches to the following day, but you will have a second chance to pull some of those guys after the tournament. But it's not guaranteed that everyone will be there from the super matches. But definitely you'll have a chance to pull with everyone Friday after the super match series. Early weigh-ins. There's a few options. First off, everything I say, all the times I'm going to say, they're not set in stone because there's a lot of moving parts. I'll be running around everywhere, different towns, setting up different, So that being said, if you plan on doing early weigh-ins, definitely shoot me a message to lock in a time. This way, make sure that me or somebody on the team is there that can do a real weigh-in. The earliest you can weigh in will be 24 hours before the event. So that would be Friday at noon. But because we have the event going on, the earliest you can weigh in is going to be after the super matches. So I'm not, like I said before, I'm not sure when it's going to go, when it's going to finish. But if you bought tickets to the event, the pay-per-view event, you will have access to early weigh-ins. If you guys aren't able to, I know it's a tough time. It starts at noon, so I understand a lot of people aren't going to be able to make it. If you guys aren't able to make it, your second opportunity for early weigh-ins will be when I'm setting up with the guys at Steel Beach Gym for the tournament. On paper, I'm planning on getting there at 7. I probably won't. it seems like we have a good amount of guys saying they're going to help out, so it probably won't take us too long to set up. We're going to set up from 7 to 9, but we might not be there till the whole entire time. So keep that in mind. Definitely shoot me a message before you come down to early weigh-ins. Just in case, because if I don't have a message from anybody and I finish up, I'm probably not going to wait around if no one messaged me. So keep that in mind. I'm not 100% sure on the clothing allowance. The only thing I know for sure is the pro class, there will be no clothing allowance. And that is because there is a spot on the next pay-per-view event in the overalls. So there could potentially be 2 spots earned for the next event. There's going to be a left arm and a right arm spot. The overall is all the winners, first place finishes from the pro class will be put into a class at the end of the event, and we will figure out who the best arm is. And whoever the best arm is will get the spot on the pay-per-view, the next pay-per-view. So we talked about early weigh-ins. What else can we talk about? If you guys have any questions for me, go ahead and let me know what they are. I'll do my best to try to answer them. If you have any questions on times or locations, the signups will be for the tournament. The signups will be during the weigh-ins, the day of. So Saturday from 8 to 11. The tournament starts at 12. So keep this in mind. If you guys want to pull the tournament, you have to be there before 11:01. Otherwise, you will not be able to be weighed in. You won't be able to sign up, and you will miss getting put in the bracket. And if you're not in the bracket, we won't be able to put you in the tournament. So keep that in mind. You have to show up before 11:01. I would recommend at least, definitely earlier the better. I don't really plan on holding the tournament up for anybody that's running late. I feel like it would be disrespectful to the people that are already there. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. So the weigh-ins, make sure you guys get there before 11. Earliest is 8. We're going to have rules, the rule meeting for the tournament around 11:05. It will be the rules for the tournament as well as a safety rules, safety stoppage, how we're going to do it for the novice and amateur class, possibly even the semi-pro class, but I don't think we'll have the safety rules applied to the semi, but definitely the novice and definitely the amateur class will have the break arm stoppage. If someone puts themselves into a break arm position, that will be up to our referees. We got very good referees. They definitely don't want to see anybody break their arm, especially someone that's new, just getting into it. So there'll be stoppage. There will also be, I'm not sure if we're going to do this or not, but I think if even if there is a stoppage for safety, and if there wasn't an elbow foul or anything like that, I think there's still going to be a foul applied for the stoppage. But there's three fouls. That last part about the foul being added, I'm not 100% sure. But that will be applied possibly to the amateur and the novice class. Um, so we talked about the safety rules. The two biggest things is the break arm, the spiral fracture. So when someone starts turning their body and their arm stays still, and the second one, there's probably only two that we'll really focus on, or that will be big, will be the open arm position. So like a king's move. That will probably be stopped for safety, for because of the risk of popping that bicep in that open position. But that being said, definitely the pro class, if you're more than welcome to, if you decide you want to break your arm, you're definitely welcome to. And in the pro class, you have to be a professional. As long as you can do anything in the rules, you can turn, as long as your hand is on the peg, you can turn as much, the hand peg, you can turn as much as you want. As long as your shoulder is not below the table, you can king's move as much as you want. Actually, you know what? That brings something that pops in my head. I don't think we talked. I don't think I wrote anything down for the king's move rule. Because it's running fouls, there's no warnings. If you go into a king's move and the referee tells you to stand up, you must stand up. You must get your shoulder above. It doesn't have to be above the elbow pad, but it must be above the table. It can't be below. It can't be below the table unless you are in a winning position. So if you are in a winning position, you can have your shoulder, as long as your elbow's on the pad, you can have your shoulder way underneath, as long as you are winning. But if you are in a defensive position or center table, you must have your shoulder above the table. And I gotta think about this, because about the king's move. My first thought right now is, if you go below the table in a defensive position, the referee is going to tell you to stand up. It's going to be a foul, a running foul. If it happens again, if you drop down, the referee tells you to come up. But this time, you don't come up instantly. If the ref says come up and you stay down there, every second is going to be a foul. So say if you're ignoring the ref, you're only going to have, if you have no fouls, you're going to have 3 seconds before you lose that match. If you're in a defensive or neutral center table position. But like I said before, if you are winning, if you are in an offensive position, your shoulder can be anywhere you want, as long as your elbow is on the pad and your hand is on the hand peg. Now I'm gonna have to sit down and think about that. I'm gonna talk to some of the guys, see what they think. But that's probably gonna be the rules on the king's move. Shoulder cannot go below in neutral or defensive position. If it does, the ref will tell you to stand up. It will be one foul if you ignore the referee and do not stand up. 1 second will be a foul. 2 seconds will be 2 fouls, and 3 seconds will be 3 fouls. And that third foul would be a loss. So keep that in mind, guys. It's going to be something like that. All right, just checking the comments again, see if I missed any. I don't think so. Not this time. Well, if you guys have questions for me, let me know in the comments. We could talk about some t-shirts. We got the Team Stone t-shirts. This is actually second generation. Let's see if I can get them over there. But I got all the t-shirts lined up. So you see that last one at the edge, right near the door. That is the t-shirts that we have right now. I think they're definitely the best quality shirts. Definitely the toughest. But those are the shirts for sale. Like this is the third or fourth generation. Now we got the fifth generation or something like that over there. The Team Stone shirts are going for $30. If you guys sign up for the pay-per-view event, it's under the paid membership on YouTube. You guys will get a bonus discount on all Team Stone TV merchandise. So keep that in mind, guys. If you guys sign up for the membership, you will get a discount on all the merchandise. The only t-shirt that will not be discounted is the Turtle Man 2 t-shirts, which, see that green shirt over there behind my shoulder? That's a t-shirts from last year. We have new t-shirts coming. There's only 100, and I want to say 20 of them at least have already been pre-ordered. So if you guys want to make sure you get a shirt, make sure you pre-order. And those shirts will also be going for $30. But the only thing is there will not be any discounts applied to the Turtle Man shirts. Only the Team Stone TV merchandise. Like we got t-shirts. We also have arm wrestling straps, something like this. It's got a nice buckle. This is first generation. I want to say we have about 50 left, maybe. So if you want to own the first generation arm wrestling straps, you got some time left, but they're going pretty quick. The straps go for $20. And I was thinking about maybe doing a buy one get one half off or something like that. So let me know if you guys like that. I'll throw that out there. I'll buy one get one 50% off. So you get 2 straps for $30. Yeah. What else can we talk about? What else can we talk about? So we talked a little bit about the tournament. We talked about the super matches. We talked a little bit about the athletes. What's your guys' favorite match so far? Of all 9 matches, what's your favorite super match? Also, another question I have for you guys is, if you had to guess, who do you think is going to win the left overall and the right overall at Turtle Man 2 and win their spots on the next pay-per-view event on Stone TV? Who do you think who would you put your money on? Who would you put your money on? Let's see. So this is a model of the Turtle Man trophy. I got the other trophies in the box, but this is just a model. The ones that we are going to use for the trophies look way better, but this is just a model. So this is what the Turtle Man trophy looks like. It's a golden turtle, solid gold, very, very expensive to make. But we also have silver turtles. We're gonna have bronze turtles for second and third. You know, there's only one place to get these turtles. You have to show up in Connecticut at Turtle Man 2. That's the easy part. Now, the hard part is you got to get first. You got to win your category. You got to win your division. And you get yourself a solid gold turtle. If you play your cards right, you know, if you play your cards right. There's going to be at the tournament, I forget what type of food it is, but I think it's like pulled pork or something. There's going to be a food truck at the tournament. There is a couple like fast food restaurants nearby. If for some reason you need something different, there's actually a lot of restaurants in that area. So, but the food truck will be there. I want to. It probably gets there at 11, something like that. Maybe I'm not sure what time it's supposed to get there, but I think 11 noon maybe. So it should be good. It should be a good time. There'll be arm wrestling. There'll be lots of fun. You know, even some good food. But yeah, I think I asked at the beginning of this live stream. Do you guys like the vertical or the horizontal view of this camera? You know, because usually I do the vertical, but now I'm trying out the horizontal. So let me know what's easier to see on or more enjoyable to view on your from your side. So the membership, the paid membership that gets you the pay-per-view to the dungeon, the first ever Dungeon Supermatch series. It will get you all, besides getting you the pay-per-view, you'll have unlimited access to the pay-per-view. So once you buy it, you'll be able to watch it unlimited times. Now this is YouTube's membership is a monthly recurring payment, so keep that in mind. If you don't want to continue the payment, but there will be, I want to, my plan right now is to have a pay-per-view event every 3 months, something like that. Maybe more, maybe less, maybe 2 to 4 months, something like that. But I want to have pay-per-view events every 3 months. And there's also going to be there's like you get the discount too. You get the discount to the Team Stone and Stone TV merchandise for coaching, for T-shirts, for arm wrestling straps, and there will also be membership videos that only the people that pay the membership will be able to see. So you guys have to let me know, like, what would you guys prefer to see, like lifting videos or or other stuff, you know, arm wrestling. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Practice, arm wrestling practice this Saturday in the dungeon, Portland, Connecticut. If anyone wants to join practice to see what it's like, let me know. Shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook is Nicholas Stone and Instagram is _TeamStone777. Yeah, it should be good. Oh, also, you guys should probably know who he is. Tim Bresnan is back in town. You know, he moved down to the South. I want to say Tennessee. He moved to Tennessee. But he does the Brooklyn Fair every year. So he's driving back up to Connecticut. I think it's like 19-hour drive or something crazy. So he's coming back up. He's going to practice with the old dungeon crew again. And then Sunday we're going to go hang out and watch the, it's at a fair, so some fun stuff there. we're gonna go watch the tournament. Make sure no pros enter the fair. You guys know how I feel about pros entering fairs, you know. But if not, let me tell you, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of a professional arm wrestler entering a fair category, um, because in my opinion, it's like it's kind of like a professional fighter, um, you know, going to a league that is only full of like dads that are boxers, you know, or not even boxers. There's like very strong, tough dads. You know, like the people that pull in the fair are super strong, but they don't really know the technique side. You know, every fair pull that I've seen, they just rip it, and just send it sideways. They don't know what a top roll is. You know. So that's why I call them like fair pullers. You know, it's nothing bad, just nothing bad. It just they tend to create the same style move. You know, if you pull at the fair and only the fair, I can kind of, you know, at least I think I can. I could see how when they're set up or stuff like that, that this guy he's a fair puller. Um, which is not a bad thing, but I think it becomes unsafe when a professional enters a fair because most of the time the fairs are like for fun, you know. I don't even think fairs like I don't even think uh, they pay to enter. I think it's a free entry, you know. So it's just supposed to be for fun, kind of thing. You know, I tell some of the guys and the teammates all the time. So if you're watching, you know exactly what I. You probably heard this all before. But all that being said, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna go watch and try to protect some of these fair guys. Um, what else is there? What else is there? What else? What else would you guys like to hear about? You know, let me know in the comments what you guys would like to hear about. Um, Today, after this video, I'm probably gonna be on for like another 5 or 10 minutes. Just gonna do a recovery workout, a little full body, but also arm wrestling specific exercises. Gonna do some pronation and some wrist and some full body stuff too. Just the goal of the recovery workout is to feel better, you know, after the workout. If you're doing a recovery workout and you feel like you feel like shit after, you feel worse than when you started, you're probably you might be doing something not right, if that makes sense. So like when you do a recovery workout, you want to finish the gym feeling better than when you started. That's the simplest way I like to put, you know, when I tell people how to do recovery workouts is you want to leave the gym feeling better than when you started. Um, what else is there? So we talked about the super matches. Let's just go over about how the days are going to go, like time frame wise. So if you're an athlete, 10 a.m. is probably when I would like you there. Earlier would probably be better, but 10 a.m. Would probably work good. If you show up closer to 11, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be trickier. You might miss the rules because we're going to do the rules have the super match rule meetings around 11:05. That's when we'll start them. Then we'll have the setup time. All the camera guys will be setting up. We either gonna have 3 or 4 camera guys going, so we got a lot of guys with cameras. So we should be able to get a lot of good shots. The super matches will go off. When they finish, we will start. We will start the after party, but also the dungeon museum tour. Once that's done, the latest we'll probably go is that on Friday in Portland at the dungeon. The latest we'll probably go is 6:15, 6:30, because I'll have to leave. I'm gonna have to leave around that time. The latest to go to Steel Beach Gym and set up for the tournament. So I'll be at Steel Beach Gym around 7ish, setting up, but also early weigh-ins. But like I said before, definitely shoot me a message to lock in a time for a weigh-in, because like I said, if we finish early, I'm not gonna wait. If no one messages me and set up a appointment, I'm not gonna wait up. I'm just gonna head out and get ready for the next day. So keep that in mind. So after everything's set up, it will be Saturday morning. You're definitely welcome to be there earlier than 8. I'll probably be there, 7:30, maybe 7. But we will start weigh-ins at 8 a.m. Also sign-ups at 8 a.m. from 8 to 11. That's your opportunity to weigh in and sign up. I would definitely advise not showing up at 11:05. It will probably be too late. We'll have the bracket already going, so definitely show up before 11. Also, too, around 11:05, we will be doing the rules meeting for the tournament and the safety rules for the novice and amateur class. The tournament is going to go whenever we finish. We will start. We'll go to the tournament and then we'll do the overalls. Once the overall is finished, we will do our trophy handout. Then we will pick the winners of the silent auction. We're going to have many great items for the silent auction. Like I said before, 100% of the money from the silent auction goes to Danny's daughter into a school fund. Once that's finished, we'll start the after party. We'll have lots of porn. We'll have multiple tables set up. You guys can pull as much as you want, hang out, have a good time. Saturday, you guys are welcome to film anything you want. The tournament, you can film anything you want. Every single match, you guys are welcome to film. Anything goes with filming pretty much on Saturday. You can live stream yourself if you like on Saturday. But that being said, our Friday event will be the only cameras allowed will be our cameras. So please, no recording of the super matches. I think I'm going to. I don't know if I'll make something up, but I think I'm going to make something. Have people sign it, meaning like if they record it and post it, there's going to be a fine or something like that, just to make it. I don't know. More likely, people won't post it. Now, if you guys want to, film stuff that's not the matches, that will potentially be okay, but you'll definitely have to respect the fact that we don't want the matches recorded from other people's camera, because it might take money away from the charity if people see the matches, it might take, people might not buy it if they already saw it. So if you guys could not record the matches Saturday, that'd be greatly appreciated. But yeah, we'll have certain things like if you guys want to record an athlete's walkout, I'm sure that would be okay. But you definitely have to respect the fact that as soon as the match starts, or maybe a little before the match starts, we don't want to see any cameras going. What else is there? What else is there? All right, guys, I'm gonna probably stay on for another minute or two. So if you have any more questions before I hop off, let me know. September 5th and 6th, the Dungeon Supermatch Series is the 5th. It starts at noon. If you want to watch it in person, you need to get tickets. Contact me on how to get tickets, Facebook or Instagram. If you can't make it in person, there's going to be a pay-per-view event on this channel, Stone TV. It's under the paid memberships. It's $9.99. You'll be able to watch that. You get a discount on merchandise, as well as you have other member-inclusive, member-only videos. Next day will be the September 6th, second annual Turtle Man 2. It's going to be a great time, great cause. There's great people involved. Well, yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think I've been on here for an hour, a little over an hour. And thanks for watching. Enjoy yourself, and I'll see you next time.